Justin Fields and the Bears are ready to go. I'm ready to grade their roster. It's a good one, of course. Andy Dalton, good quarterback, not great, but I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go? That's the question, yeah. Like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video. What's going on, guys? Today we're doing the Chicago Bears roster grades. This is going to be fun. But of course, I got to go A, B, C, D, E, F. I mean, A, B, C, D, F. No E, of course not. QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end, O-line, D-line, linebacker, cornerback, safety. Special teams, of course. Offense, defense, depth. My favorite part of football. And overall, the grade. Okay, we got quarterback. Most interesting position on the team, and it's really not even close. Andy Dalton's going to start for them in week 1. It makes sense because they're playing the reigning #1 defense in the NFL. I don't want to say reigning because it'd be really cool if they did it again. Aaron Rodgers just threw a dime. You can go see that on ESPN. Either way, yeah. Andy Dalton's going to be their starter. He's not an NFL caliber starter. Like, he can go in games, but he's not the same starter he used to be. He actually used to be a pretty solid starter. I'd give him a C or a B. Nowadays, not a great starter. Justin Fields, he'll be better. Here's the thing. He will not be good against the Rams week 1. It could really damage his confidence and everything. So it makes sense that he isn't starting. Yeah, Andy Dalton, tell you after. But Nick Foles, he's saw him last year. He's not a good quarterback. Justin Fields, he's their best quarterback by far. They're not putting him in week 1 for obvious reasons. Like I just said, the Rams are going to decimate him if that happens. And then, of course, Andy Dalton starting. So let me just go grade this. So obviously, Andy Dalton isn't a starting caliber QB anymore. Justin Fields definitely is. I'm giving him a D because Andy Dalton won't really do much with them. I'll just tell you that. They're not going to be great in the passing game. I'll just tell you that. He just doesn't have a good arm anymore. He still makes decent decisions. It's just he just isn't good anymore. Simple as that. And yeah, once Justin Fields starting, I'm definitely going to bump that up. I'm just giving him right now. He's their starter. I'm not. It was actually a really smart move by them. It's the right move, definitely. Either way, let's go on to running back. Okay, David Montgomery, he's an above average running back, top 10 maybe, I'd say. He doesn't catch the ball as much as you'd want him to, but his yards per carry is improved a lot, and he's a 1,000-yard rusher. He should be this year. Scores a good amount of touchdowns, gets some really long explosive runs. He does catch the balls every once in a while. That's Tariq Cohen's job. Tariq Cohen's a Swiss Army knife. He's actually a pretty darn good player. He's out for next week's preseason game. Hope he's back by the regular season. He's a good player. Damian Williams, he's also a decent runner. Nothing special, but he's okay. A lot of depth at his running back position. Khalil Herbert, he's probably the guy with the most potential other than David Montgomery in this room. He has a ton of potential, and he's actually really polished and really smart. He has some injury concerns, and he's a little older, but he's still a really, really good back who could take over their starter if David Montgomery is somewhere else. Yeah, it's a really good running back room. Okay, now we go running back. I gotta give him a decent grade here. Unless you're a Bears fan, you're not giving the running back room an A, and here's why. You can't give a running back room an A unless it has a superstar running back. They don't have a superstar running back. They have a really good running back, just not a superstar one. Wide receivers. Okay, Allen Robinson. I don't like Allen Robinson at all. Like, he's a really good player. He's not that fast. I honestly think Cooper Kupp's faster than him. He's a pretty good route runner. He gets a lot of catches. Doesn't get a ton of touchdowns though. I just don't like Allen Robinson. He's just not my favorite player. Like, I like guys who score a ton of touchdowns and are really exciting. Allen Robinson isn't that, but he's a really consistent player. I have to give him that. He's at least a top 20, top 15 receiver, maybe top 10. I'm not giving him top 10. I might not even give him top 15. He's just a really good receiver. Darnell Mooney, big play threat. That's about it. Like, he does run some good routes every once in a while. Not very consistent. Still a really good receiver though. I really liked how he played last year. Kind of how I wanted Van Jefferson to play for the Rams. But yeah, Darnell Mooney's a good receiver. Marquise Goodwin's literally just a deep threat, and he's a punt returner and kick returner. Really good one at that. He's not playing this preseason because he's kind of like Allen Robinson. They don't want to get him hurt. He could really help Justin Fields once he comes in because he will get open. He runs some really good deep routes. That's his specialty. And he can catch the ball pretty well, too. Damiere Byrd, also a deep threat. Here's the thing about Damiere Byrd. He's literally a downgrade of Marquise Goodwin, and he doesn't run good deep routes. That's about it. But he's a good depth player. Riley Ridley, he's solid. Like, Not great at doing anything really, but he does his job when he has to go out there. He gets the catch. It's basically what he does. Chris Lacey, developmental prospect, but he's fine, so I can't really give him anything else. He's a more of a slot guy, but put him in there, he'll do his job. Daz Newsome, of course, the rookie, so raw, like the most raw rookie receiver in the whole draft. Man, he's good though. In this preseason, he's just been lighting it up. Rodney Adams, he saved Andy Dalton's job. I'm just joking, but still, Rodney Adams, he saw some big plays. I like how he's played in the preseason. I can't really define him yet. I guess he's played like a jump ball guy so far. I really hope I've seen him with that speed though, so I'm still waiting to define Rodney Adams. Good player though. Johnny Johnson, he hasn't gotten open. Isaiah Coulter's always been a special teamer. It's been what he is. And then Giovanni Johnson, these two guys are just special teamers. I really like the receiving core, though. So, as much as it's not a great receiving core, Allen Robinson is a #1 receiver, so I have to give him a B here. And they just have good depth there. That's really what puts me there. They're like talent there, it's C, but they have a pretty well-rounded receiving core, so I have to give them the B. Now I go to tight end, and that's actually a really exciting position for them. Okay, Cole Kmet's going to start for them. Like, he hasn't done anything in his career so far as a second-round pick from 2019. I really hope he does something because he's actually not that bad of a player. Really good run blocker, and he's actually caught some balls. I really hope he can just, like, develop so they're really good. And now we got Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham is probably their best touchdown threat. I'm just going to tell you that. He gets a lot of touchdowns. He will be in there in the red zone. Jesse James, he's whatever. He does his job. He's been pretty solid when he's out there. He's hurt a lot of teams sometimes. He's like a good backup tight end. J.B. Holtz, he is a special teamer. He can actually snap the ball pretty well. I've heard some good reports about him. So it's like not a great tight end room. I'll just go talk about that. Okay. If I have to give him a grade, I'm giving him a C. They don't have a great tight end. It's pretty well rounded. I like the room. I just can't give him a B because it's definitely not above average. Like I'm being a little generous giving the wide receiver a B. I honestly probably want to change it. I'm gonna give him the B though for wide receiver, of course, but C for tight end because I really like their players. It's just not great. So yeah, I can't just because they don't have any they don't have a legit #2. I have to admit that for the Bears, but they have a really good room. Okay, now I go to O-line. 2018, the offensive line for the Bears played above average. They were definitely a B caliber offensive line. 2019, 2020, they were a C mate. They were C. They were average. This year, their offensive lines played terrible. I'm still getting them, but like look across it, like Elijah Wilkinson, he's not bad. Tevin Jenkins is out. That's gonna hurt. Like Elijah Wilkinson, he's actually been able when he has to play left tackle. He's done a bad job. Cody Whitehair is fine. James Daniels, these two guys really help their offensive line. Sam Mustipher, Adam Redmond, and Dieter Eastland. None of these guys are very good. Like Sam Mustipher, he actually hasn't had any mistakes so far. He's been actually a little bit. Problem with their tackles, like Jermaine Ifedi is not a tackle. As much as people want him to be, he's not. Olivia Simmons, he's a run blocker. You got to put him out there. Very boring. He stinks, and then he's a special teamer. And then Jason Peters, he's just so old. That's all I have to say. The offensive line, the guards are solid. The center is whatever. The tackles are their problem. I've always thought the Bears' offensive line was average. It's like meh, and it still is meh. It's like it's really not as bad as people like think it was. Man, they were bad in preseason. Yeah, they have not played well in preseason. I can't give them a D until they play like it in regular season. D-line. Okay, D-line time. It's a ton of studs on it. I'll just tell you that. Akeem Hicks, he is one of the best run stuffing defensive ends in the NFL. Pretty much that. Angelo Blackson, he's a solid backup. Lakeem London, special teamer. Eddie Goldman, he just swallows guys. Mike Pennell, if he has to go out there, he's fine, but he's on IR. And then Christian Tonigo, whatever. Khalil Nichols, he's really underrated, but he's probably not going to play. Merrill Edwards Jr. behind him, they're fine. Literally, other than Akeem Hicks, if you switch his height, you won't really see much of a difference. I'll just tell you that. Daniel Archambault, whatever. It's not bad. It's just like, it's definitely an above average D line. It's just not top tier. Having a top tier guy like Akeem Hicks really helps your D line. So I'm gonna give him a B because it's really good. Nothing's like it's not superstars. There's not like superstars over it, but it has a really good depth and they have some really good players. Linebacker. Okay, let's go. Linebackers are all solid. Khalil Mack, third best edge rusher, the best edge rusher in the NFL. I'm just saying that straight up. It goes. No, I'm just gonna say it straight up. It goes. Myles Garrett, Khalil Mack. They're tied number one. Then there's T.J. Watt. Khalil Mack is the best edge rusher in the NFL. Simple as that. That helps a lot. Travis Gibson, whatever. James Vaunters, Charles Snowden. If they have to go in, they're not going to do anything, but they won't, like, absolutely decimate your defense. Danny Trevathan, he's always been, Roquan Smith, one of the best young linebackers in the NFL. Can't really say anything else. He's just a stud. Never heard of this dude. Alec Ogletree, he's old. He's regressing, but put him out there. I guess he'll do something. Danny Trevathan, he's basically a downgrade, but he's a solid player. Like, his PFF grade's pretty darn bad, but he does his job. Christian Jones. Christian Jones was actually pretty solid on the Lions last year. Wasn't bad. He saved a lot of touchdowns. Pretty good player. Josh Woods, Caleb Johnson, special teamers. And then we got Robert Quinn. He absolutely disappointed last year. He did not play well. Still a pretty darn good pass rusher. Jeremiah Olochu, you probably want to put him out there because other than Robert, the difference between these two guys, he gets the pass faster quicker. Sam Kamara, whatever. This is a super good linebacking core. Okay, like I said, their linebacking core is one of the best in the league. It's top 5, top 3, one of those. Every one of those guys flies to the ball and makes a lot of really good plays. Simple as that. They have the best edge rusher in the NFL. Two of the best. They have one of the best linebacker duos in the NFL. Nothing much to say. Okay, I just want to say before we get to anything else, the reason this defense has regressed from superstar caliber to above average defense is their secondary. Like I said, their secondary has regressed heavily. Maybe it's because they lost Kyle Fuller. That's probably not the reason. Jalen Johnson, he's a good rookie. Like, he didn't play well last year, neither did any of the other corners except a couple that played Jalen Johnson played He got burned a lot. He had a good amount of touchdowns. But I like how he plays. I hope he's going to be a lot better this year. Kendall Vinder, he's been absolutely tearing it up in preseason. Let's you see how he plays. Desmond Trufant's probably the best corner on this roster. He's the best well-known name, too. But Desmond Trufant's show is former show. Artie Burns is fast, and yeah, that's about it. He still gets burned somehow. Thomas Graham Jr., whatever. Trey Robertson, never been a starter. Simple as that. Duke Shelley, he goes out there. He'll do fine in the slot. You can't put him out wide because he won't know what the heck he's doing. Xavier Crawford, special teamer. It's a very below-par cornerback room. None of their corners stink, so I can't give them a D. It's really not that bad. It's just average. Like, there's no one there that's a difference maker. It's just ugly. I'll just put it that way. Now we go to safety, and it's not much better. Okay, Tayshaun Gibson Jr. He's an average senior. Tayshaun Gibson Senior. He's an average run supporting safety. That's about what you're gonna get from him. There's no depth either. Deion Bush, nah. Jordan Lucas and Michael Joseph, you put them out there, they'll do their job. But here's the thing, they're both on IR. DeAndre Houston Carson, the only reason on this team because these two guys are on IR. Tease Tabor, he's just never been good. Mark Lee Christian, he's a special teamer. Eddie Jackson, I'm going to talk about this for a little while. Eddie Jackson has regressed every season. Well, his rookie season in 2018, he was up at the highest point of his career. What happened to him in 2019? I don't know. Well, I do know. He just stopped playing well in the coverages that were his bread and butter. I'm just telling you that. And he's just regressed since. 2019, he was so bad. 2020, not much better. PFF grade was in the low 60s. That's terrible for a starting safety. Here's the thing about him. He's still a good player. He's just not. He's just regressed a lot. Man, these safeties used to be really good. Like Adrian Amos, Matty Jackson, best safety duo in the NFL. They were an A. Not anymore. Oh my gosh, it happened again. It happened again. Okay. They get a C. It's sad what happened to their now we go. There's secondary. So now it's special teams time though. Okay. Cario Sanders has turned himself into a very good kicker. He used to be average hit or miss. He's a very good kicker now. Pat O'Donnell, average punter. That's all I gotta say. Not a big leg. He's just accurate with his punts. Demir Bird is a fast. He's a good returner. He never fumbles it really. Darnell Mooney, don't have him returning. Daz Newsome, have him returning. Khalil Herbert, tank. He'll get you to the 25 mostly. Chris Lacey, nah, whatever. I like their special team unit. It's really not great. Like Patrick Scales, whatever, but it's not great. As I give the special teams for the Bears a C, we're going to talk about the grades for the offense and defense. So, offensively, they've been below average the past 2 years. They've been terrible. Their offense can't be that bad this year again. Like, the end of last year just shows their offense isn't that bad. It played bad, but are they really that bad? Their defense? They get a D. No, they're getting a B. They used to be the best defense in the NFL. I'll just tell you that. They've regressed a lot since then. They're still a really good defense, though. They have still a ton of talent, especially in that front seven. One of the best still in the league. Overall, they get a fat C. Here's why. A lot of teams are getting C's because they don't have what it takes to get to that B or A caliber. Definitely not A, but B. Teams that get C's, I can guarantee there's going to be some teams that get C's that are going to stink in my predictions. Here's why. It's coaching, it's all that stuff. Either way, not depth. No, my bad. Depth. They get a fat C in the overall, but yeah, and the depth. They get a C in depth too. Like their front seven depth is an A. It's probably the second best in the league. Cornerback, safety, no depth really at all. They have average depth. A lot of teams just don't have that much depth. It's average depth. That's not a bad thing. Their overall gets a C. It's really the linebacking core that really helps it. They still got a good team. Like the Bears don't stink. They're gonna be beating some really good teams. Cause at home, there's not gonna be teams that are gonna be able to play with them. Bears get a C. Please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. And of course, more roster grades coming out. And yeah, that's about it.